Hello there, Jared the Dark Jedi here. As all of you are aware, the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild are both on strike. And after some consideration, it has been determined that review content, like what is mostly predominantly makes up a lot of what we produce, is still going to be not considered crossing the picket line. It is still encouraged by the Screen Actors Guild, who established new terms additional to what was being asked to be complied with the WGA. What we do here, the conversations we love to have with a bunch of our friends, to have with you guys, is not possible. The stories we love to talk about, the stories that we love, do not get made without the blood, sweat, tears, creativity, and brilliance of the writers and actors. And currently, the studios who produce the things we love are working these writers and actors to death, not compensating them appropriately, and are trying to replace them with AI. I would think it goes without saying that the Nerd Academy podcast stands staunchly with the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild, and we'll be supporting them from here until the end of these strikes in whatever way that we can. There will be links in each episode description so that you are able to see how you can help, where you can help, how you can donate to different funds to keep food in the belly and roofs over the heads of the writers and actors who are trying to make historic change in Hollywood as we speak. This review, this discussion, this news roundup, whatever the episode may be, was recorded during these strikes, and our love for the works of these writers, of these actors, will continue to be praised and discussed while they fight for their rights. And I want to implore everybody watching and listening to aid in whatever way they can. We stand in solidarity, and we ask that you do too. So, without any further ado, here's the show.
Hello, my friends. It is Aldo, and welcome back to the Knights of the Nerd Republic. You know what to do, and stay profitable.
The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, the show where your favorite nerds talk all things about the galaxy far, far away. And my God, do we have a doozy for you guys this week. We are joined very graciously by Jerry and Scotty of the Bombadcast. It was me and Kason chopping it up at the Bombad Boyos. Blown away by this week's episode. We have a lot to talk about. We really get in the weeds of what this episode was about. I think this is going to be a good episode. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one. Speaking of episodes that I wish got enjoyed, there was an editing issue with last week's episode. So I had to take it down. I re-uploaded it. It's back up on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. If you watched last week's episode, or if you just like to, give it a little bit of a bump, go ahead and just click on that video, kind of scrub through it, leave a like on it, comment if you wish, just to get the views back up on that one. That would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to get those watch hours up. Other programming note before I throw you guys over to Sunday's Bloody Mary and then the show itself. I have finally finished a character sheet for Porter Engle, and Porter Engle versus Count Dooku, hopefully coming by the end of the month is the plan. So stay tuned for that. Also, I'll be on the comic book cast review of this week's Ahsoka as well. So keep your eye out for that on the comic book cast YouTube channel. And if you want to see a way more silly off topic and a little more Star Wars talk after dark version of this episode, going over to the Bombadcast live stream, where myself, Bill Sheehy, and Michael McCoy all joined the Bombad Boyos on their home turf and had a bit more of a silly version of this same conversation. One that I think you'll get a kick out of, even if you watch this episode. But with all that said, you guys know the drill. Sunday's Bloody Mary has the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the fucking name, my hiccups, in the galaxy. They're 3-time award-winning spicy Caesar mix. Pardon me. Their 3-time award-winning spicy Caesar mix is my go-to Bloody Mary mix. It is the only Bloody Mary mix I will use. We also have their pickled dilly beans, okra, and asparagus if you're trying to get your freak on and garnish that bad boy. And they also have some really cute Bloody Mary tomato themed merch. So going over to sundaysbloodymary.com/shop, use code TNAP, TNAP at checkout. You get 10% off your order and help out your favorite nerds while you do it. And yeah, without any further ado, please enjoy myself, Jerry, Scotty, Kaysen, all talking about episode 5, Shadow Warrior.
Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty, its incredible detail. Tuning into it, they want to shatter your mind. Talking about Justin Bieber. It's pure evil.
Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic. Future me has already taken care of introductions and everything, so we're just going to jump right in. It is me. It is Kaysen riding shotgun with me today.
Good evening. It's a nerf, don't worry.
And don't worry, Jerry's woke, Jerry the Cannon Junkie, and Scotty J-Ro of the Bombadcast are joining us.
Inventor of woke. Thank you very much.
Yes.
He
created it.
Inventor. That's me. I am the original woke person.
You are patient zero for the woke mind virus.
Yeah, I am patient zero. Yeah, and I never wash my hands.
Jerry, isn't it nice being back on? Doesn't it nice being back on like where holy ground is? You know, where we defeated and conquered Jared.
Oh,
isn't that
no.
special?
Listen, it's nice coming here to hang out with a couple of fans.
That happened
you
on
know.
your channel.
Wow, the Bombad Trivia King. What is that?
I don't know. Listen, that's the thing. Listen, it's
Mm-hmm.
great to come down off of Mount Olympus to hang out with you, lowly serfs. It's been great. It's just such a fun time that we're having here tonight. And so, yeah, no, it's always just.
Maybe I'll walk out of here tomorrow and you never see me again. That's really what I want to do.
We love doing things. We love doing things for our fans. So we're of course we're here. Of course we're here.
I'm just gonna let Jared take it. I'm a fan.
We're not gonna like oh again, I'm very it's nothing but
It's
respect
different.
for Kaysen.
I know it's
Yeah,
different with
okay.
Kaysen.
We're honored to work with Kaysen tonight.
Look at you.
I am
Can I
a
get a fist bump?
face. I am a face in
that-
epic
rad.
confrontations. I am
Jerry,
a
I was trying to
face.
get a fist bump through the boxes.
Oh, fist bump. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
World between worlds, fist bump.
Jerry, not me. Fuck me. Okay.
Oh, is this your show? I'm sorry.
that needs to be clipped out.
This whole episode's about to just be the Brady Bunch intro.
Yeah, it's just very hostile. Anyway, we're
Bad
here
Bunch.
to talk about an insane episode. The title of this episode is Shadow Warrior. It may as well be Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit. What the fuck?
I'm coming. Oh no.
It's gonna be a big nut bust.
That's right.
Very, very big, huge. Hey,
God.
sorry. Mom, don't watch this. I forgot to tell you, this is not the one you watch. Sorry.
But
NSFM, not safe for moms.
no,
Never.
Young Gravy style.
God, this episode was fucking wild, though. Hands down.
It was.
is
It was.
Yeah,
I,
100%.
I had a lovely conversation with very rare KNR panelist Mike Doling. He told me to call him when I got off work
It's
so we
that
could
dude.
talk about the episode. And we were just talking about it and talking about Anakin and his legacy and just how, the best Star Wars and the best, right now we're living in this age in the media that we consume that is in many ways dominated more so than before by nostalgia.
Yeah.
And like bringing back the thing you remember, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it services a story. Sometimes it's The Flash, where Michael Keaton just kind of looks down the barrel of a camera and says, "Let's get nuts," like a lifeless puppet, and you just feel gross while it happens.
I feel different.
And I respect that, and I don't hate The Flash as much as other people do. But the Michael Keaton,
I mean, I
stuff
don't
was
like
just
it, but I
deep,
don't hate it like other people do.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong out there, everybody.
Yeah. Jerry isn't going to do for The Flash what I've been doing for Batman v Superman for nigh on 7 years now.
Never.
It's not that bad. But anyway, and then you have things like what we got in Ahsoka this week, where we got this litany of things that, fans both of the, hey, I actually want to talk about theme and metaphor variety and the lightsaber go burr variety have wanted for some time, of the, I would love to see the Clone Wars brought to life. I would love to see, Anakin in the navy blue robes and, those flashbacks and reliving those moments in the Clone Wars in live action, and that's not to say, at least for me, I know there's this weird subtext to those requests of almost saying that, like, oh, because it's animated, it doesn't quite count. So, like, let us see it in like real live action. Star Wars animation has taken the franchise to places that it could never have gone in live action, and at least without tipping its toe in animation first. Because of Star Wars animation, this show exists in its entirety.
Yep.
And I think the fun of bringing something into live action is that moment of seeing it come to life in 3 dimensions, and just how surreal it was to see something, that to see 2008 come to life in 2023 with Hayden Christensen with short hair in blue Jedi robes with little Ahsoka. That you get those moments that feel like those crowd pops, to kind of use like a wrestling term, that, the crowd is going crazy. And sometimes that weird nostalgia, give the fans what they want thing doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's happening just to give the fans what they want. And it's kind of like eating a candy bar. And then there are moments, and this is what Star Wars does best, where you give the fans what they want, the specific thing that they've been begging for, and it services a fascinating, complex metaphor and this very cerebral, weird, heady experience that was Ahsoka this week. That, this could have just been a Clone Wars highlight reel, where Ahsoka just remembers that she's that bitch,
Right.
It wasn't that. It was it was confusing.
I didn't know we were going to be using Dave Filoni quotes tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we curse in this show? I'm just kidding. I love people ask that.
with me, they ask me if they can cuss.
Can we curse in this show?
Jared's gonna put all the horn honks and oogas in over it later. So.
No, Jared. I can agree, man. We've had the privilege to watch a lot of Star Wars. We even got a little bit of an argument last night about this, what it means to watch and take in all this stuff as much as we can, as much as we enjoy. And I mean, I've been lucky enough, and I think everyone on the screen has been lucky enough and probably watching or listening to like watch all of Rebels, watch Clone Wars, watch Resistance, watch the Forces of Destiny shorts, watch Jedi Temple Challenge, watch all these live action things, you know, Endor, Mandalorian, Kenobi, the prequels, the sequels, the Ewok movies. I mean, you have the opportunity to watch all this, you know, and to take it all in. And when they start to pull things from the show into new canon or whatever it is, into new Star Wars, you almost feel like all the time you spent digesting this stuff years ago is now having this beautiful version of payoff, which within itself might not be the best thing to say, because reading and interpreting a story is payoff on its own, you know.
Yeah.
But to have it like Jerry is the hero from the other night, because Jerry, being the canon junkie, was like, no, you know, this is the things we're seeing are all.
Jerry and I we were the Teth truth. We were the Teth truthers. We both said it. You tried to silence us.
Yes.
No. I'll go on that. I'll go on the record. Jared was with me. So
yes.
It was but yeah, we were. Yeah. Listen,
you were the one who had the documents.
What's becoming our mortal enemy, Michael McBoy, was just so adamant about how it was not Teth, because the floor is the same, the ground is the same in the other place. I don't know how many planets you know of in Star Wars. There's a lot that have sand.
See, I was going to say this too.
Also, I believe that they're doing a little community theater style set design, kind of a thing there. You know,
what I wanted to say is
a little Broadway.
The fact that you could watch that show and immediately go, "Oh my God, that's Teth," based on the atmosphere, based on the trees in the background, and based on the ground.
I don't know any abysmal pink fog planets.
Yes. That's the thing,
that's
though.
My only thing. Yeah.
That's the payoff for having digested as much media as we have. And to finally get this stuff in live action, for someone like my wife who didn't watch Clone Wars, you know, she still loves seeing Hayden with a shorter haircut, looking different vibes. And then Jared, to one of your points, this is a gateway for those people that have not watched it to now have the opportunity to go, holy shit, this is good. And all of Clone Wars is going, not all of it, but most of the Ahsoka Anakin interactions are always superb. And now I was saying this too privately in a chat. So exactly. No, but the best part about this is it's an explanation for us as diehard fans about the conversations that were had, but also, you know, the context of those conversations, what they mean now to Ahsoka. Why is Ahsoka needing to hear this? And then you've got fans that can now be gatewayed into what's the Siege of Mandalore. Oh, this was is cool. Do they really talk about this? Do they really care about the clones? Like, it becomes a full thing that embodies all of the Clone Wars. So you've got this super cool moment in Star Wars history now where there's like a paradigm shift. There's like a meeting of two ideas that we never thought we'd see live action, but also in terms of story, you can go anywhere now. You can really go anywhere. And they didn't do any weird portals, no World Between Worlds stuff that was too far-fetched, that would have been too heady for some Star Wars fans that wanted a multiversal thing. It was just right. They did it. They did it without doing it. And it was perfect. And I'm so glad you brought that up at the very beginning. I really am.
They basically broke the whole it's just time travel thing that people had for decades.
It's
not decades for years.
Feels like it. The discourse feels different.
The inflation alone makes it feel like the tremendous weight. Yes.
The thing that I found fascinating, you know, and now that the episode's out, we can talk about a little boo-boo I accidentally made in our group chat publicly.
Casey, do you know about this? Do you know about this boo-boo?
Think so.
Oh,
this is good. Tell your boy. Your boy.
Hey, boy. Here we go. Let's hear it.
So disclaimer in defense on my part. I thought that
somebody
else had put this leak in Goons already, and that we had discussed our feelings about it. I sincerely imagined a full fucking conversation between 8 people. I fully was convinced it had already been discussed. And there was this stupid goddamn Star Wars Twitter.
We'll find that picture.
All right.
this like it was just one of those engagement fucking Twitter accounts that's just like, what are your thoughts on blue lightsabers? And then there'll be like, the top reply will be someone who's like Darth Redivivis, 42069, who's like, blue lightsabers were great until Rey Skywalker made them feminine, and it's like, one of those accounts. And
Yeah, the
so
usual.
this fucking account just straight up posts this leak that Bespin Bulletin was reporting
Adamant
on
on.
from making Star Wars, which again, this is our Star Wars season of television reminder. Stop sourcing making Star Wars.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, Jason Ward, bad dude. But they fucking just straight up posted, Bespin Bulletin is reporting that in episode 5 of Ahsoka will look through the world between worlds and see an alternate history where Darth Vader killed Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar.
Incredible.
And I replied to it and I said, you, dear Twitter user, are an asshole. And I thought that was funny. So I screenshot the interaction and I put it in the group chat that Jerry, Scotty, myself, and some other content creators are in. And then the reaction was not, oh, Jared, that was funny. It was, Jared, why the fuck did you share that with us? And I did not realize that, I completely hallucinated this conversation. And all of us
What you didn't realize is we believe everything the Bespin Bulletin says.
Yeah, I mean, listen, normally, but again, they hit their shots typically, and that's because normally, like the leakers are leaking things. But I will say, just again, for reference for why we need to stop quoting making Star Wars on shit, this is 2 really big leaks that they have just whiffed on. Reva didn't die, and they did not go to Mustafar. So maybe it's time we put this source on the shelf.
That's the next episode. Yeah,
I'm so trying to find this screenshot of this horrible Photoshop.
This is the episode.
I
now.
mean, it's
just Scotty finding the screenshot.
Fun. It is. No, y'all can keep talking. It's bad though. This Photoshop is garbage.
So I felt really
Hayden
bad
with a beard, right?
And so I felt bad that I felt like I accidentally spoiled it. And then last week, when the episode ends with Anakin in the world between worlds, the feeling I felt after the elation of seeing Hayden was, oh fuck, I spoiled this whole next episode. I felt so bad.
We were all waiting for that shoe to drop too.
Yeah, everybody was waiting to see Mustafar. Everyone was waiting to see Mustafar to fuck with me. But I guess this is my retribution, because I don't know if we've talked about what you guys did to me the night of the premiere. I don't know if people know about that yet. I don't know if this has been talked about on the record. This is all a non sequitur. We'll get to this week's episode. I sound like Alex now. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it.
We'll get there when we get there.
I got my stackies.
Stackies.
So fucking, I'm out to dinner at my job. I am at Tom's Watch Bar on the North Shore in Pittsburgh. Getting dinner with Taylor before Ahsoka. Because our original plan was we were going to get our food to go and then watch Ahsoka. And then Taylor clearly wanted to stay and eat. And I was like, do you just want to get it for here? And she's like, yeah. So we ate there and we're running late. We're driving like crazy people trying to get home. And just after Scotty lays down the ground rules in the group chat of anything you have to say about Ahsoka, send it in invisible ink. And I'm like, yeah, Taylor and I are about to go home. Can't wait to watch it. Clock strikes 9:02.
We timed it, y'all. Not gonna lie, we were like, all right, let's time it.
And I am inundated with this wall of notifications from our group chat that is, oh my fucking god, Mace Windu. Mace fucking Windu. Oh my god, Mace Windu. Holy shit, it's Mace Windu. And
That's so funny.
I was viscerally fucking angry. I sent a very snide text message and then muted that group chat.
He was very
so fucking mad.
Well, I got in the car and Taylor's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, one of two things just happened and I'm fucking angry about it. And she's like, what? I'm like, either Mace fucking Windu is in the first 5 minutes of Ahsoka, or they're just being mean for no reason right now.
It's always B. It's always B.
I was so pissed. That's been a running joke for the last like 4 weeks. Is holy shit! Did you guys see Mace Windu?
Fuck, Mace Windu's in this shit.
I would, and whenever you guys were like, Jared, why the fuck did you think this was Mace Windu? I was like, I don't know. I thought it was like a flashback to her getting kicked out of the Order.
Incredible.
It was a flashback to him calling her citizen. That's
sincerely, yeah. Anyway, Jerry, I'll give you the floor first, man. How are you feeling? We've had like a couple days to kind of stew on this episode. You know, how are you feeling on the other side?
I've watched this episode. I watched it 3 times after I got off work yesterday. That's more times than you should watch a single episode of anything.
Yeah,
in a 24-hour period. Yet it just happened. I meant to just watch it twice because I was like, I watched it. I had an appointment that I had to do, and I came back and I was like, I want to watch it again. And then after I finished it, I had to go to bed. I was like, you know what? I'll just put it on, and I ended up just sitting through the whole thing again.
So good.
And so I'll admit, the first viewing, I didn't know what to feel. I got off of my couch and sat on the floor for the whole episode, which I haven't done for an episode yet.
Wow. So
like
you were
like crisscross applesauce on the floor.
Were you like post Tross though? Because when you saw Tross, I'm sorry, when you saw the Rise of Skywalker,
you were like, me and Scotty had been through some turmoil together.
He's like, man, I don't know what I think of this movie yet. And him and I talked on the phone for 2 hours in the middle of the school day.
Scotty had to counsel me after I saw because I was like, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah,
like I liked it and I didn't. I had a bunch of conflicting feelings about it, and but no, I liked it from the beginning. But I just remember going on to like talk with everyone afterwards because we like all kind of got on like a group call, and I said nothing. I don't know if any of you were on that group call. Remember,
you were quiet, dude.
I said nothing because I didn't feel like I had anything to like add at that point. And B, I kind of was just like, I can't believe that this just happened. And I don't mean to like think of it in this way because it's kind of a negative way to think about it. But it's kind of crazy that this is the point in Star Wars television where we have gotten pretty much everything that all the naysayers said we would never get in the live action.
Exactly. Yes, Jerry. Hell yeah.
Honestly, it's this episode. I can't help but think, and I'm not saying it to go, ha ha ha, you were wrong, but it's just to say, like, I remember listening to so many podcasts, so many YouTube creators just saying, like, I just don't think
between worlds,
the world between worlds, and I'd be like, with a lot of them, I don't listen to anymore. Like, there's Mr. Christian Harloff, was a big one saying like, we'll never get the world between worlds, stuff like that. And I mean, just like, to him, I will say, fuck you, you're wrong. but it's just, it's really crazy, man. I mean, like, I'm on this side of it. It is just as good. Like, I wish I could have seen this in a theater, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know how to digest these things and then go to bed the way I've loved them releasing them at 9, but I don't know.
How do
I haven't been able to watch it and digest, like, you know what I mean? Like, my brain, like, it kind of has just been like a fire hydrant of Star Wars in the best way.
Well, I just want to say yes to the whole, I don't know how to watch this and go to bed. I paced my living room for 40 minutes after the finale of Mando season 3. Like, I had so many conflicting emotions after like my first viewing of the finale. A lot of them to do with how I feel about the Children of the Watch.
Right.
But like, I had so many conflicting emotions. I just paced the fucking living room because I watched the episode by myself at 3 a.m, and it's been the,
as you should.
You found it? Here, let me full screen you.
It's like fucking Zorro.
What the hell?
Yeah, there's no.
Looks like,
let me see. Wait.
If you look
that's
at the
Hayden
body,
Christensen's body with fucking Terry Crews' face, dude.
I couldn't even see it. That was the Photoshop they put out. Best Reporter reports that there's also
That it looks like they made a painting of his body or something. It looks like he's. It looks like
bad.
That's yeah.
And
It
they
looks like he's
added
playing D'Artagnan.
they added hair. Like they added more. Like they added like extensions. It's very strange. But anyway.
Yeah, they gave.
Not a
gave him
fan.
James
Volumized it as well. Very
Yes,
well. Very
volumized it
Fucking Anakin Skywalker, the new spokesperson for Garnier.
with a blowout.
nice. Like Anakin
Dark side
Skywalker
blowout.
in a refresher
Head and shoulders because
shower
that's all
going,
I have left.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. Case, that's good. Look, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Dark side is a pathway to many. I had one and I
Hairstyles that
lost it.
some would consider to be unnatural.
I had it and then I lost it.
Look,
halfway through.
I understand like this coming out in the evening has made it a little bit more difficult for digesting and for even like rationalizing what you just saw, because this one was just so unbelievable, like through and through. Like this one was just like oh man, and in a
This
good
was
way
like
though.
getting beat with a it's like Dave Filoni. I almost call him Steve Filoni for some reason. That's his brother who shares. He sells used cars.
Not
Steve
to be
Filoni.
not to be confused with the brother of the main villain of Star Wars, Steve Palpatine.
That's exactly. Yeah, no, we don't talk about him.
Right.
No, it was like being like Dave snuck up behind you with a mallet and then just like smashed you on the head and everything in the best way.
Yeah.
This all sounds bad. When I describe things, I sound negative. But
Look.
it is overwhelming, like you're saying. It's overwhelming, but I was in tears just from happiness. Like when we get there, and I was so immediately on like that's Teth.
Yep.
I can't believe like when I worked at a movie theater in college and I watched that thinking this is okay.
Wow.
This is going to be like a very emotional moment in a giant Star Wars project down the road. If I go tell myself that back then, like and laugh in the faces of my friends that work at that theater who like didn't like the prequels at the time, and be like, you guys are fucking stupid.
Yeah, and think about how far we've come since then. With the Cinco trilogy and everything else in between, and like I don't know. I agree, Jerry. A lot of this does come down to the fact that we have had the opportunity to, explore different realms of Star Wars, like Andor, very dramatic. Kenobi's about a fallen hero. Mandalorian's very mysterious in the sense of it being like a samurai gunslinger kind of flick.
Right.
This, however, is like all those things that we love in the mystical nature and the mythological nature of the Force. Like, this is for the fans that
return to form. Yeah.
Yes, this is for the fans that love hearing things about the Force. And like, I honestly thought Kenobi would have done that, and in some ways it did. But this is just Kenobi's way more about two people. This is way more about one person and what it means to be one person who has fallen and apparently is now Ahsoka the White, is redeemed in
which is something we've been hearing about for like almost a decade now.
Yep.
Ahsoka the White. Like Dave's been talking about that forever. Right.
I really do love also just to bring an old Jared bit out of retirement, start a shot clock to see how long it takes me to make it about Kylo Ren. I really like that Star Wars is leaning into the whole baptismal water motif more and more. Like we got it in Tross. I had been saying for years,
Book of Boba,
leading Book of Boba with the back to tank, Din in the waters on Mandalore. I had been saying my whole thing with like Kylo Ren and Darth Vader. I did a whole episode of it on your show. That's right. Where I was like thumping my chest of this is like the Lucasinian poetry. Like this is it's like poetry. It rhymes. It is the same story, literally backwards. And I was saying that pre Rise of Skywalker, and then that movie came out, and they literally had like the whole Darth Vader was born in hellfire, and Ben Solo was reborn in the water. Fucking loved it. And we get it again here. Of course, it was stolen from Star Wars Theory, which we need to acknowledge. It was very unfair. These already these all that
Dude,
was
this from
I
my
thought he was here.
script.
I thought he was here.
The
seriously.
shock is
We
the
should
best
all-
thing about that.
We should all make a fart noise in honor. You ready? On the count.
I
you just
meant
make
to ask
different
Jerry
fart
for the
noises.
for the video of that.
With
just
right
for the vibe.
3. We're gonna all make a different fart noise.
It's
3,
go to our YouTube channel. It's
2,
on there.
1.
You know, because I'm an adult and I
Steal
haven't
my
made a fart
script?
noise with my hand in some time, I realize how hard it is to do with a beard.
It's very hard.
Not the same.
It's very
Yeah,
hard.
Scotty doesn't have that problem because he can't grow a beard and he's a
I
fucking
can't.
child.
Here I got.
Anyway,
All right. More at 11.
but yeah, no. It is truly remarkable. You know, like all the Ahsoka the White stuff. Like,
Oh,
you know, it is the motific development of that. You know, I think a lot of people kind of figured out like when there were those that small retcon to the Rebels epilogue. I think a lot of people went, oh, like Dave kind of skipped steps for us to see Ahsoka the White, not realizing he would ever get to tell that story.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it's very George. I think it's very George for
Yeah.
Dave to be like, oh, well,
I'm going to change it.
fuck that. Pretend you were great.
I
Fuck
want to
you.
do it the way I want to do it now.
Yeah.
That's literally how
You
Ahsoka
know?
came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like,
And exactly. George was like, yeah, Anakin had a Padawan. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Okay.
I did.
Mhm.
He did.
So, you know, and you look at those trading cards. I know that's been a hot topic this week, but you know, you see this Crimson Forest. You see Ahsoka awakening within this water. You see her peering into this abyss and seeing Vader. Like, and then you start to realize, like, in some way, shape, or form, Dave always knew this story.
Yeah.
You know, then how it's not to get into the whole like, oh, like I wish they had a plan or whatever. But like, it's just so beautiful to see Dave just get all the time in the world to tell this epic of a Jedi who is like, I don't even want to say like out of her own time, but like who is just living through these just titanic events
Yeah.
constantly. You know, I was
Oh
but one of my only, I don't even say complaints, but like something I would have done differently, to kind of like put a bow on some of the stuff with the Anakin memory gauntlet, is that whenever they're on Mandalore and he's like, I don't remember this battle, I kind of wish Ahsoka kind of twisted the knife on him. And she's like, yeah, you weren't here. This whole bloody battle was started because Darth Maul wanted to kill you.
Yep.
And looking back on it, this is like starting here until now, every battle I've ever fought was your fucking fault.
That's true. Every one of them.
Yep.
From here on, like if it's not Maul who wanted to kill you because you were taking his place, it was because you brought the galaxy to its knees
Mm-hmm.
in service of the Emperor. Like, and I wish we got it that. And you know, it's one of the things I love so much about this episode. I said this in our call. I said this during the call-in show. I thank you to everybody who showed up for that. One of the things that moved me so much about this episode is that I think this is one of the first times I came away from a Star Wars in a very long time not like fully cognizant of the fact that I don't understand it yet. Like, this is the first time in a minute where, like, you know, and that's not to say that every time I've consumed a Star Wars story that I walked away going, oh, okay. But I had an idea and I was like, okay, now I can kind of let the themes and the motifs and the metaphors kind of wash over me and start putting some like ideas together. This is the first time I went, I don't fully understand what a lot of these things represented yet.
And we probably, the context of the show will reveal itself.
And I'm sure,
You know what I mean?
like,
Yeah.
like, and there are like obvious puzzle pieces
Mhm.
of like, the whole Balin Skull, like, the legacy of you and your master as one of death and destruction, being met with Ahsoka choosing mercy in the face of Darth Vader,
Yeah.
You know, the fact that Anakin, his whole point was that he wanted her to choose mercy. You know, that, you know, she repeats what Balin said to him. Like, you're trying to like there's some of these obvious puzzle pieces, but like I don't fully quite yet understand what her lesson was.
See, that's the thing.
And that's what I love. I love
Yeah.
that I'm still like not
Yeah.
100% sure.
Mhm.
During the call-in show, me, Buck O'Brien, Sean Room, and Eli, the In a Galaxy and Epic Confrontations, Eli, none of us knew what the fuck. All of us had a different fucking interpretation. All of us, like vastly different interpretations of what her lesson was and what it represented.
Yeah.
And like, it's been so long, and it's not that's not to the detriment of anything, but like, it's just so like, it was so weird. And you know, Star Wars, you know, it's that almost infamous quote from George, you know, of like, it's meant to be understood by 12-year-olds, you know, that like, even and I think the beauty of that is at 12 years old, I understood the fundament of how impactful Anakin Skywalker's sacrifice is to save his child.
Yeah.
I understand the fundament of redemption. It's not until I'm older that I'm understanding what it is, if that makes sense. And I'm 25, and like Dave stumped me, and like I love that, like it's almost him, like it's in the same way that Ahsoka built on her training under Anakin. You know, it's one of the best parts of Time to Fly, is that she hands control over to Sabine and she follows her lead. Something you never would have seen Anakin done. Something you never want to see. You never would have seen Obi-Wan do.
Yeah.
And you know, and then Dave took that and he said, "Okay, you made this for kids to understand. I'm gonna fuck with the adults now. I'm gonna fuck with them." I
That's
want
what you said.
Look on Twitter. One look on Twitter. Everyone has been fucked with.
That's the thing too.
It's so great. Yeah.
It's like not every lesson. And look, I know I bring it up often. I'm a teacher. Not every lesson's for everyone. You know, sometimes you make things easier or harder just because someone that really does love the subject you're teaching them will get it. And sometimes as a teacher, you don't even know what the hell you're saying, and you still make an MCAC. And I mean that, like, genuinely. You don't genuinely understand it quite like someone else will. And Ahsoka, that first lesson, she didn't get it. Second lesson, she sort of got it. Third lesson, she had to learn the lesson the hard way. And I don't think it was one big lesson. I think it was 3 separate, very heavy lessons about life or death. And to me, it's very much do or do not. You know, it is, you have to choose one thing or the other. Are you going to live this way or die this way? Because this is your reality. You are going to either awake from this experience changed or the same, you know, cynical person that you have been these past, you know, 20 plus years, you know?
Yeah.
It's
That's what I was
hard.
thinking too.
And like you, Jerry, you went through. I always bring up Jerry's life changes. I just do. I don't know why. But Jerry,
well, I do have. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Bring this up, but I do have thoughts on this. Yes. Yeah.
You do. You have gone through publicly and privately between you and I, between starting Bombadcast 4 years ago,
Even
almost
friends,
5 years.
Everyone on here too. Most people, you know.
Jerry has gone through some of the hardest life changes that I helped him, and we all lived through together. You know, I for the most part helped him, but like, you know, looking at it, when you go through those life changes, every lesson you learn is not an outward lesson; it's all inward. Every one of them. It's you think you know and you have it under control until the next curveball comes, and like that's what Ahsoka's experiencing as a character.
So many curveballs.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Become
and
faster and faster, kids.
And until you realize that you're in a state of change, which is what Anakin says to her straight up, like, this is you. This is what you have to deal with. Sorry. Like, you have to be a warrior. Tough titty. Like, that is exactly what you're dealing with. Yeah. Straight up. And she's trying to fight it so hard. But this is her this is not her legacy. This is her reality, right? Her legacy does not have to be the fight. Jerry, your legacy does not have to be that you have now separated from your partner and you're raising your kid, you know, as a single dad. That does not have to be your legacy, though that is what you're dealing with, you know? Right. And of course, Ahsoka doesn't learn. She's sitting there, dude, and she's like, my legacy is of death and destruction, but it's not. Anakin is it's of passion, it's of love, it's of, you know, I'm gonna go against the Jedi Order because I know what's best for, I guess, the humanity or the natural aspect of it. And I don't know, the lessons are so deep, and they're going to take months to dissect, and they're not going to click on probably till season 2 of Ahsoka, or hell, even Dave's movie. Like, some of these things aren't going to be fully made into reality until we have more time to dissect it later. So I didn't mean to go off like that, but that's
a lot of this kind of stuff is like good written fiction. I like fiction that isn't easily discernible. I like to dissect and ponder. Like, The Last Jedi made me really question, like, what is Star Wars? Like, what is the nature of everything? And I do have a little bit of this is one interpretation I came up with today when I was watching it with my kiddo. By the way, it was
what'd she think of it?
She
loved it.
It was great. She loved it. It's, you know, like she's a big Jason Syndulla fan. She has been a Jason Syndulla fan since she saw that green-haired, green-eared little brute.
God, he killed it this episode. Shit, he killed it.
So good. I am in tears when they talk about, like, every time he talks about having a feeling, and then like when you finally get Hu Yang given the drop of, like, oh, his father was Kanan Jarrus. But anyway, back to the lesson to me, and this is the way because mind you, I have a 6-year-old. I'm watching this with a 6-year-old. Anakin Skywalker, who was this little kid's favorite, didn't realize that they became Darth Vader, found out they became Darth Vader, didn't really know how she felt about that. And now we have on the other side of him being Vader. I made sure to tell her, this is how I interpret it. I want it to be his ghost. I want that to be Anakin consciously. I'm going to make up for all the shit in my life.
I think you're right.
I had a lot of shit. And I think that's what my kid needs to hear too. And honestly, this might be a choose your own adventure thing, you know, like this might be a choose your own adventure kind of like, what does the Dagobah Cave necessarily mean? It can mean a couple of different things, right? But you've got this diverts even more. But what I've come down to it with her, what I was telling her when she was like, is that the bad Anakin? What's going on? I said, he's trying to teach her. He's showing her parts of their past together to where she can see, because what is the one thing we know about Ahsoka that she said for the last 30 years? I'm no Jedi. I'm no Jedi. I'm no Jedi. I'm no Jedi. She left. She partially blames herself for Anakin's fall. I think this was Anakin allowing her to let that go. To me, I think that was like him holding her by the hand, going like, look, here we are at the beginning. Here we are kind of dealing with the loss. We're at the beginning of the journey where, like, we are peacekeepers. We're not even supposed to be warriors, right? But we go to this is a great cost. Why are we joking like we do in the Clone Wars? Because again, that's how you deal with that kind of shit. We talked about, Jared, you mentioned that the other night. You and Taylor talking about that. It is two people dealing with their trauma, but Anakin's already kind of, I feel like he's on his way to his enlightenment or his redemption. I don't think he was necessarily redeemed at the end of Return of the Jedi. I think this is him on his way to redemption.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I think that he is holding Ahsoka by the hand and going, these are the mistakes I made with you.
Yeah.
And I will
showing
show
her
you
the way that the war marred his soul.
Oh,
the war marred him. Yeah. Well, and he even has that great line of, you're more than this because I'm more than this.
Fucking best
which
line.
Is
dude.
Such a good line.
Banger.
Because he is. And people are more necessarily than their choices, like the bad choices that they make. You
Master
are more than your bad choices.
Master and Apprentice.
You are more than your bad choices. But at the same fucking time, Ahsoka couldn't become, when she left that, when they pulled her out of the water, she is a Jedi now. I bet if you asked her now, she would say, I am a Jedi, like my master before me. I bet we're going to get some moment like that because she is 100%. That is like, she's like High Republic Jedi. And Scotty, those are books. Those are things that you read. And
trying to get into it, man.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry. But she's a very like
No,
if you
you're
look at the
not.
High
No,
Republic
you're
Jedi
not.
again, like
Pause,
they are
pause.
very.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Scotty actively is antagonistic about when we get excited about the High Republic.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
not in that boat. I just
No,
haven't
no,
read
That's
it.
you
what-
are not in
that's
the
what it
same
is.
boat.
All right.
Don't.
It's all
yeah.
good.
Don't take that
Um,
L for no reason, Casey. You're not in the same
But
boat.
all
learn
that to
learn
say,
from me. I'm the Anakin to your Ahsoka right now.
All right.
Don't
Yeah.
take the L from Scotty J. Rowe.
Yeah. I think this was 100% Anakin taking her through that. It was Anakin in his spirit form saying, "This is how I failed you, but that isn't you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't take that. It's not
100%.
you. You need to go out of here and be who you need to be. Choose fucking life, Ahsoka."
Yes, the lessons.
God damn, I'm fired up.
Because unfortunately,
I'm gonna march
Anakin
outta
chose the death of
Get a
Anakin
new job.
Skywalker. He chose the death of
Right.
Anakin Skywalker in the life of Darth Vader, and he didn't realize how far that was going to take him, which led him to obviously lose his children, made him lose the love of his life,
He
made him
lost
lose everything, and he hates himself for it. And the craziest part is Dane wasn't afraid to tap back into what that looks like, because even in that moment, you know, where they talk about legacy and what legacy means, you know, I thought it was absolutely fantastic that she got Sith eyes too, because if legacy is true, those aspects of those people live within you, and you are going to end up channeling that.
She got Sith eyes?
Oh, you don't see that shit? She
I
got
didn't see that
blood
shit.
red
It's
Sith
really hard to
eyes.
see, but yeah, whenever she
Hold
yeah.
on, I
whenever
took a
the
screenshot of
lightsaber's
it.
glowing on her, you can see that her eyes are red too.
They're like-
Oh, crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
hold
like,
on.
I mean, Ellie, you know, I'm watching with my kiddo, and she's like, "Why are his eyes red?" And I said, "Well, he's showing her when he was evil, when he
God,
was
you
bad,
can't
when he
even
was
see it.
making
I'll
bad
full screen you.
decisions."
God, you went
They're
too
the
many
opposite
fingers.
of full screen.
They're
Oh,
clearly
okay.
red.
Oh, subtle.
Yeah,
There you
with
go.
the- and the yellow iris, dude. Yeah.
Wow. I haven't
Yeah.
caught that. I'm so just like watching that saber and how close.
Hold on, I'm
it
gonna
is
find
to
his
neck
red
every
eyes.
time.
His red eyes, bro.
Um,
I felt like I was a little kid in third fucking grade again, seeing
Yeah,
his
dude.
red eyes. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it felt like the scene, obviously, when he turns around right before he slays goddamn
Wat
Baker.
Tambor.
Yeah, Wat Tambor. Whoo!
But you just like reassuring Ella, like my kid.
Yeah.
I said like he is teaching her that it's not her fault. And this is the way that she learns. This is the way
Yeah.
that Ahsoka has to learn it. Because we, like you're saying, Scotty, everyone learns it. Not all lessons are for everyone, and every
Mhm.
single lesson in Star Wars is tailored to the character
Yeah.
that is going through
absolutely.
the lesson.
One of the things that I find
Sorry
fascinating
for going
about
off
it.
again.
No,
No, I love
that's
it.
literally why you're the guest this week. Like I didn't know when I booked you guys for this week that what was gonna fucking happen, but I knew some shit was gonna happen.
Yeah, we knew it was gonna be big.
We are filled with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Right now.
This is
Okay.
canon, so we
Holy
brought
Spirit.
the canon junkie.
Yes.
Praise be.
And
All right, let's
his
go.
and his low rent sidekick.
I invented woke.
Yeah, you didn't even.
Are you talking about me? Oh, I'm sorry. They're talking about
Yeah.
Kaysen.
No, that was
confusing.
mean. That was mean. Why is he catching
This
strays?
is not my
This between
sidekick.
you and me, J
yet.
Ro. No, but like man, that the beat in the episode at the very beginning when Ahsoka hits him with the "I won't fight you." He goes, "I've heard that before."
Oh,
so
God.
good.
That-
Oh, so good.
That line where like, and again, I think it's gonna end up being like the linchpin of that. Where I think maybe for Anakin, like spiritually, he's like, okay, and this is very Anakin to go, okay. Luke had his big Jedi epiphany when I made him fight me. Do I
Yeah,
have
that
to
shit
fight
back.
Ahsoka? If I fight Ahsoka,
Oh fuck! I
something
haven't
will.
thought about it like this yet.
I could crack the code because that worked on it. That worked on Luke.
yeah.
And there's
Wow.
like a fucking lizard brain that Anakin Skywalker has
Mhm.
that I sincerely think that he as a character would be like, oh, fucking fighter, because that worked on Luke.
Yeah.
And that wasn't my
He's the-
intention. with
I'll
Luke.
learn my lesson.
Anakin is the dad that throws the kid in
Yeah,
the
he's
pool
like- he's
and
like,
says,
I
"You
wasn't
just
trying-
you'll do it. You'll get
He's
it.
like, I
You'll get
wasn't
it."
trying for Luke to have some grand Jedi epiphany, but fucking worked.
Uh-huh.
He's telling you he's
So-
holding on to the bike when he's clearly let go and is like 20
So
feet
if
behind
I so if I make Ahsoka fight me, and this time I'm trying to give her a Jedi epiphany, and it'll be in the world between worlds, so I can like warp reality around us. Yeah, I'll do that. You know,
Uh-huh.
so and there's a little bit of that air that like
I love-
there's a little bit of that Anakin playfulness that like I
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
fight you.
totally.
He's like, oh, it's working, because that's what he
Yeah.
said. You know, like there's like an
Uh-huh.
excitement to him.
He's got that theatricality for
Yeah,
sure.
it's a
Like I
theatricality,
just
you
love
know?
the idea that him and Obi-Wan and Yoda are sitting around at like a conference table in the netherworld, just going, okay, so how do we do this on budget? Like how do we present this and
What is
everything?
the
And Anakin's
Force's
always
budget?
like, fog machines, dry ice out the fucking wazoo. Okay,
Lightning will
fucking
strike
do
me
this
and I'll
shit.
turn back into Vader.
Yeah, I want to do the
gonna
Vader
be
shit again.
crazy.
Can I do the Vader? That's so like Ghost of Christmas Future. I can do it, guys. Let's do this.
So
Someone
it's
get me a voice changer.
can we actually dissect that? Because I do think the phasing between what you want to say, Case, and I got you.
Hold on, Case has
You
got
good.
some.
Yeah, I've had thoughts on the whole
Okay,
thing that you're talking about.
let's hear
I was
it.
trying to find a spot to butt in.
It's perfect.
Well, I think between
We never shut up.
you guys,
Just butt us out.
that's understandable. Between you guys, Jerry and Scotty, I think like I was kind of like the same. I wanted to combine your ideas basically about like
Yeah.
what the whole experience is. Because like Scotty, with what you said, I think that it's very much that Ahsoka does have like she goes in there and Anakin says live or die, and like you said, like either live as like Anakin chose to live as Darth Vader rather than and die as Anakin.
Mhm.
I think that that's pretty much what she did, and also I think that Anakin immediately referring to her as Snips and continuing to refer to her as Snips
Yeah.
because she hasn't been Snips since the Clone Wars.
No.
She has not been Snips, and nobody's referred to her as Snips. She hasn't acted that way, none of that. And then immediately after this, after she goes through this whole thing, and she like learns to like let go of that whole thing with Anakin, and then she immediately gets her mojo back, and like she's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm giggling. She's like, I'm gonna go talk to a fucking whale, bro.
Yeah, she's
I'm
whimsical.
gonna step outside for a
Knocks
second.
on the
and just
window.
Talk to
Get
a
in
whale.
there, guy. Get
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Who yeah?" Get in his mouth, and he's like,
Come on.
"What?"
What?
Like,
bro?
Yeah.
yeah, and then she's like, "Well, I mean, like, better to try than just like sit here and wallow." And it's like, "Yeah, dude, that's you.
Uh-huh.
That's that
And
bitch."
and you know, everyone was complaining.
That is that bitch.
People have been saying. I know, but
People
I
have been
think-
saying Ahsoka's a very stoic Jedi. Some have said the most stoic Jedi.
They've been
people have been
she's too dumb.
saying. No,
She's
but
not
I
I
did
like-
everything right, and they sent me to the world. between
China.
worlds. Okay, we're done now.
well, the
Everyone's
thing
done
is,
with Trump
everyone,
voices.
you know, that I've heard that really, has been dissecting this show as well, is saying like, oh, Ahsoka's so stale. But now you see why. You see what
She's
she
been
is
through some
going
shit,
in.
dog.
There's been a lot of internal struggle for her, and to have it finally fall through. And look, our friend Alden Diaz, we've been talking about him in private. He's not covering it, in public. He says the moment where you feel the change is that for the first time in Star Wars ever, you get a piano. You get a piano song, and it's a piano song when she wakes up, and there's light on her face, and her headband is gone, just symbolizing a change. She's
Yes.
wearing a white
forehead.
shawl, right? And like she's exposed. None of us have ever seen her like that before, and she's wearing a white
We've
shawl.
seen her like that twice. Sorry.
Case, what you want to say? I see Cason's on fire. Here
the
we
other
go.
thing- I don't know if you guys noticed it at all. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but is it a headband or is it a tiara that she wears
Sure.
around?
It's both. We
Mhm.
call it a
Okay,
tiara.
whatever it is. But you guys notice the change whenever she puts that on and goes back out with
Yeah.
Yang when they go to leave?
Mm,
That's
know
a
what?
straight up samurai tiara, dog.
Oh,
That crest in the middle, dude.
Yeah.
I'm digging the samurai vibe so much, dude. I love it.
I did
very
not
excited
realize
about it.
that.
So much samurai vibe in this. And I will
It's so
say,
good.
you know what helps me process this? And this is my advice to everyone, and it's terrible advice. Everyone should have a child because explaining it to a child helps me process it.
That's fair.
That's
That's fair.
Honestly, it helps you, but what I have found is this is the first show I've been watching week to week, and I'll show it to my kid week to week as well.
That's
I haven't
beautiful.
shown her really any other. She's seen Rebels though, and she wanted to know what she wants to know what happens
She
to
loved
Ezra.
Andor. She loved
She
Andor.
loved Andor, man. She
Her
thought it should
favorite
have
part
been
was when
fuck the
Cassian
Empire.
fucked a hooker and killed a
She
cop.
shouted "fuck the Empire," not even knowing that was the actual line.
That
but
show,
like,
man.
just like
Good
if you,
Lord.
again, terrible advice. Don't actually have a chat if you don't want to, but it does, because like that's like, again, like this is Dave is trying to confuse the adults, but at the same time, this is all fundamentally stuff that can be understood by a child.
Yeah.
Boom.
If you and it's like
it's
I have been
Masters level Star Wars. It is like it is
Right.
yeah.
Star
and
Wars
she gets and they
700.
get it, and it helps you understand really when you get into that childlike mindset kind of those kind of things. But anyway, it's just all this shit is so fucking great, man.
That's the thing.
So fucking great.
Jared, you go, baby. I want to hear
say
you.
if I could wade into like a lot of the conversation, I do think that a lot of it is Scotty. I loved your framing of it being multiple lessons.
Oh yeah, it's
that like
everything.
That first lesson is that like Anakin obviously without having to say it represents basically everything that Ahsoka is going through. It is the coping with this incredibly complex legacy. It is trying to grapple with her blaming herself for what happened to him. It is just her feeling, cheated, that she lost him, that she got him back just for him to be ripped away from her the same way he was ripped away from everybody who loved him. That I do love this whole idea of him, trying to affect your perspective. I said this on the Colin show. Scotty, you may have still been on when I said this. I highly recommend the podcast Dissect to everybody. If you like hip hop and you're not listening to Dissect, especially now that it's not only on Spotify now.
Oh, okay.
They're finally on like Apple Podcasts and shit now. They did a season on Damn by Kendrick Lamar. And there is in the through line, the kind of like thematic center of Damn is the question that is posed at the beginning of the album. Is it wickedness or is it weakness? You decide. Are we going to live or die?
Mm-hmm.
And
look at that.
The whole thrust and that whole question is, wickedness is a hedonistic self-interest, letting your baser desires and baser behaviors control you and guide you in this selfishness. It's the dark side. And weakness is like, again, because Kendrick is, very much a lot of his music has to do with his faith. The weakness is this like Christ-like weakness. It's a Christ-like weakness where
it's a vulnerability.
Yeah. It's a willingness, humility, and a willingness to be vulnerable, a willingness to to make yourself exposed in the name of helping other people. Like the bow that the album puts, the bow that the narrative of the album is that. The guy who signed Kendrick to his record label robbed the drive-through restaurant that his father worked at.
Yeah.
That like they met, long before Kendrick was born, and had that robbery gone sideways, had Top Dog, like gone into that situation and chose wickedness and chose violence, he could have like created a situation. No, it was after Kendrick was born, but like he could have created a situation where Kendrick grew up without a father. And Top Dog goes to prison. He doesn't establish Top Dog Entertainment. Kendrick Lamar doesn't become a rapper. Like it changes everything fundamentally.
So
and
cool.
Watching this episode, I'm
real
like,
life, man.
Watching real life, and I'm watching this episode, and in this moment, in the back of my mind, I'm like, like that was where my brain went. I'm thinking about like this is Top Dog and Kendrick Lamar's father, and that like you need to choose wickedness or weakness, life or death, fight or die. And the more I've been thinking about it, the more I think that like the same way a lot of Star Wars recently has been about when do you fight and why, that like there's also an element there of you know, what like you need to fight for your life, you know, but living to fight is the dark side. Like living to fight is choosing death, but you know, you need to fight for life. Choose to live, choose mercy, choose life. And I think that framing it with Ahsoka having to choose to show Darth Vader mercy, you know, like the beginning of that fight, it's a sparring match.
Yeah.
You know, and again, $5 here on the Patreon, we covered that fight. That we did Anakin Skywalker versus Ahsoka, circa the Mandalorian. And you know, it's like a friendly sparring match, you know. There's not it doesn't feel dangerous for her, you know. It's like, I'm not gonna fucking fight you. And he's like, yeah, you are. Come on, let's, you know, put your dukes up. And then it turns into her kind of experiencing like when she kind of lost her innocence as a Jedi,
Yep.
you know, and when it all kind of fell apart. And I just, again, I'm just kind of talking through it because I don't understand it. Like I said, I don't fully understand it. And none of us do. And I love that, you know, and when he morphs back into Vader, I think that is like, okay, like I've taught you 3 lessons and now here is your test. Your
That's
test
beautiful.
right now, you're like, your test now is fight
Your life.
for life. You know, do not live to fight for your life. And once you've won, choose to spare Darth Vader. Choose to spare the specter that has been haunting you for years now, you know, like, and and I think part of that is part of what's beautiful for Ahsoka, you know, again, going into the, you know, you're more than that because I'm more than that, is that now she has a different, she now is able to replace the last time she saw him.
Yep.
Because the last
that
time
awesome?
she saw him, he was this like horrifying vision of death.
Yep.
You know, that has cut down countless of her brothers and sisters, you know, that looked her in the eyes and happily said, then you will die. You know, words he uttered to her again here in a completely different context. But, you know, he's explaining to her that again, and I think that's where I'm at, is that it's teaching her, like, you need to fight for life.
Well, look, and she also knows his son now.
Yeah.
So she knows the actual product that was made of this hatred. As much as Luke is redeemed, Luke is just as conflicted. You know, he sees his legacy because then, unfortunately, he passes the baton on to Kylo Ren or Ben Solo because his, I guess, scaredness, his eagerness to stop a situation, just like Vader stopping Padme from dying, ends up causing Kylo Ren, right? And then you've got Ahsoka somewhere else in the other galaxy, by the way. Like, I don't know if she'll remain there. We don't know if she's going to die there or stay there. One thing I will say for certain that I loved, and this is a little bit of a not a tangent, but it's more or less off the beaten path of what we discussed. The fact that Jason Sindula straight up says a galaxy far, far away, that shit was fucking awesome. Jason being attuned into the Force was fucking awesome. The fact that he heard the clashing sabers and what was experienced by those characters was real. That was incredible because our friend Michael was like, I don't know, I think it's some sort of dream sequence. Hell no. That shit happened somewhere else. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter how. Jason and Hera both felt what was occurring. And Hu Yang had an idea too. Hu Yang was like, it's not out of the possibilities that she's alive, especially with Master Tano. Oh, fuck.
I loved that how Hera was so just like, as soon as he was like, no, mom, the listen to the water. Like the music changes, her demeanor changes. She's like, I gotta go see what this kid's on about because this kid's got weird this is the kid from The Exorcist, you know, or this is the kid from Poltergeist. This kid from Poltergeist. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I thought was really funny in like the 2-episode premiere was whenever Hera's flying away while Ahsoka's dealing with Marok and
Yeah.
the HK assassin droid, is there's a look on her face of her just going, goddamn fucking Jedi bullshit again. Where she's like, where there's just a look on her
Years of
face is
this.
like, all these fucking laser sword nonsense. Fuck
Yeah.
me running. That like it's something really beautiful about Hera's character that like part of her, I think, like missed the space wizard bullshit.
Yes.
And
Oh,
like
absolutely.
but she's also like, when Jason's like, no, mom, weird shit, and she's like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
she hears it.
Yeah.
Then she hears it. Fucking crazy, man.
Which is so
Yes.
cool. I love that. I love Jason being this like conduit through the force. so that she can,
Yes.
like feel it. We've been having a very wonderful conversation about how heady and weird this is. And it's great. And I'm going to completely derail it because it's time for Jared to talk about lightsaber go burr.
Right.
We gotta do it.
Please.
I am a full screen myself for a second.
I'm gonna get water. I'm here. I
Okay.
can hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
I have said for years that there's nothing I wanted to see more in Star Wars than pre-suit, no suit, Darth Vader,
Go off,
Hayden's
King.
beautiful face with a red lightsaber. It's just always felt dirty that we never got to see Hayden holding a red lightsaber. And the only times you ever get to see it is in shitty fan art and in the Revenge of the Sith video game in the fighter mode, but you only get it with the player 2 skin. You have to do a mirror match to get it, and that's bullshit too.
And Star Wars Theory, his scripts as
Yes,
well.
of course. Yes, because water.
Yeah.
This is the weekly thank God for my girlfriend putting up with me.
Same.
Bro, I'm not gonna mince words. I'm not gonna try to use flowery language and try to do like, Star Wars as a philosophy class right now with you guys. I was bricked the fuck up. Okay. I cannot pretend to you that once that lightsaber turned red, every meaningful conversation about life, death, legacy, the Force, mercy, redemption, all of the themes of Star Wars, out of my fucking brain. Because that was no suit Darth Vader with a red fucking lightsaber.
Holy shit, it's Mace Windu.
Fuck you. I fucking, dude, I lost my shit. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, I was excited like the whole time.
Rightfully
like,
so.
I was marking out the whole time, for Hayden in the Clone Wars outfit. He looked phenomenal. The suit looked phenomenal.
So fucking good.
Like, all of it looked great. Rex, the battles, all of it. Sensational.
Play the clip.
Okay.
Sensational. That's his word.
I was blown away, but I was still like in the moment of again, like experiencing it and trying to just like let the story tell me what it's trying to say. The only thing I wanted to hear after his then you will die or whatever was that's all I could fucking do. That's all I could do. Like, back a few months ago when Kaysen and I, along with our lovely ladies, got to meet Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah, he had already filmed this. Holy shit!
Dear friend of the show, Alden Diaz, made fun of me because I said we're gonna go meet Darth Vader. When I said that, this is what the fuck I was talking about.
Yes, indeed.
When I said we're gonna meet Darth, we met Darth Vader.
Yep, he did.
We met Lord Vader.
Yeah. Well, I just accidentally donkey kicked the fucking microphone. It's just so fucking good, and the choreography is amazing. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Talk about that. Talk about that because it literally felt like Hayden hadn't stopped. Like
Yeah.
Hayden
Just keep a fucking beat, dude.
They just plucked him off set for Sith.
But I
Yes.
like that it wasn't as dancey as Revenge of the Sith. It felt more like the Count Dooku fight, which was way more, I don't know, I felt way more smooth, but still have some edge to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Did you guys notice the move?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah, I marked
did
out
the-
for it, dude.
oh,
I
come
rewound.
on.
I rewound it to see.
Are we talking about the same one?
This one, no, wait, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you get demonstration.
The thing, or how does he do it?
Yeah, where he brings it around and does like the full circle thing with
Bruh.
it, and that's when him and Obi-Wan just went back and forth without hitting each other for a second. It's the same thing.
Dude,
It's that
when he-
move.
Yeah.
When he
No.
did this, I wanted to fucking lose my mind. Like, what is this, man?
Yeah, dude,
I
he
think
did
it's
reverse
his
it for a
face.
second. And I was like,
Yes. What? And yet he had a Star Killer for like 2 seconds. He had a Star Killer for like 2 seconds, man. It was so
Well,
good.
Well, speaking of like him
So
doing that,
crazy.
like that little like move behind his back. If you watch, and this is still when he's like Anakin sparring with Ahsoka, not Darth Vader trying to fucking kill her. He does the same, like he does like the behind the back, and then it's just like boom, 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 go for the legs. He does an identical fucking sequence from the Mustafar duel. Like it is fucking identical. But again, like the way he manifests as Lord Vader, though, like that, like because again,
Yeah,
like
dude.
it is. I truly think that is plucked out of Ahsoka's nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Like that visual of Anakin with like the glowing yellow eyes and a red and a crimson fucking lightsaber, you know, because I do think that for her, like what she thinks of Darth Vader, she doesn't think of like the black helmet and the cape and you know all of that.
Yeah.
Like she is haunted by the fact that she knows that some of the greatest atrocities he ever committed, his face was bare,
Yep.
just shown to the world while he did it. And you know that and that's what I love about it is like it's no matter how much she wants to separate them, they are the same.
Oh yeah.
And
The
you
art
know,
from the artist.
yeah. But again, like she's more than that because he's more than that.
Yep.
You know, and you'll never be able to separate Darth Vader from Anakin Skywalker, but you can also remember Anakin Skywalker and know who he is. And like if Anakin Skywalker's soul can be saved, what is it for Ahsoka to come back?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if he's redeemable, if he can be brought back,
Yeah.
what was your great sin, Ahsoka?
Oh.
You didn't wipe out the fucking order. I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
You didn't do this to me.
you didn't do this to me. I made decisions. You know, I was
Life
I
or
was
death, baby.
manipulated. Yeah, like it's just so beautiful and
Also,
as a wise man once said, fucking dense.
Our boy.
Fuck yeah.
Our boy.
The fact that this whole thing, as Anakin's going through this with her, is live or die, life or death, and then like the Tales of the Jedi episode, the very first one with her in it, that was her very first lesson that she learned.
Mm-hmm. And look, I even put it.
Scotty, you just tweeted about that.
I tweeted about it this afternoon. I'll read it. It's a Campbell quote. I think there was a Campbell one. There was a Pythagorean what I found too, but it's a picture of Ahsoka as a little baby, like you just mentioned, right? Right
Yeah.
there. The screen's so dirty. And then it's the photo of them facing off. It said by Campbell, killing is not an act of heroism, but of religion, rendering here and now the monstrous archetype, so that life may realize the awful depth of its own nature, not with dread, but with surrender. Very cool. Very, very cool. You know, the idea that you're able to, you know, kill, but it's not necessarily it's the way you're looking at how to kill or what death really means, you know? And that's the first, you're right. That's the first lesson that Ahsoka ever gets is death. And honestly, this is a very primal thing, but most humans understanding about like where religion came from. Like we're talking like 43 million years ago. Like the dawn of like humans is because of death, and like through death we understand where life comes from. The oldest like rituals ever performed were of burial rituals millions of years ago.
I mean, Ahsoka's life. Oh man, this is about to get heavy. Ahsoka's life.
we got bombed down there 25 minutes too.
Oh my god, I just realized I was almost about to quote Alex Jones.
Oh no.
Can't believe him.
To give life is to give death. Ahsoka's life not only is marred by, like all of the loss in a metatextual context, Ahsoka's existence is defined by her death.
Mm-hmm.
We as fans went, oh, Anakin had a Padawan during the war. She's going to die. It's going to be part of why he turns to the dark side.
Ooh, Jared.
We have spent so much time talking about how the fuck does Ahsoka Tano die?
That's not the point.
In many ways, life is death.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, she's got to die during the war. Okay, she doesn't die during the war. Oh, it'll be so poetic and fucking heartbreaking if Vader kills Ahsoka. Then we spend a year and a half. Oh, Vader killed Ahsoka. And then it's like, oh shit, she survived. And then we see the rise of Skywalker. And then we hear her voice. And we go, okay, Ahsoka died eventually. And then Dave is like, you don't fucking know that.
Yes.
So like every step of the way, we have always been focused on how does Ahsoka Tano die? That I think that this journey for her being about her life, I think is also really fascinating in a metatextual way.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Damn.
Speaking of the hearing the voices at the end of Rise of Skywalker, right? I mean, it might work differently because it's not. Well, I guess she's in a Sith temple. Like the planet is still strong with the Force and everything. When she's on Exegol. So I saw obviously like during Rebels when he goes into the Jedi Temple on Lothal where he gets his Kyber crystal, Yoda like appears to him through the Force. Mm-hmm. Or at least like through like the little like sparkle thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of Rebels happens before A New Hope, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like Yoda's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then also when Ezra goes into the World Between Worlds, he hears Yoda, he hears Obi-Wan. Like
he hears Rey, he hears Finn.
Yeah, he hears everybody.
Qui-Gon, Kylo, like yeah.
Yeah, he hears everybody. But like Obi-Wan and Yoda aren't dead at that point.
Well, the reason he hears that though is this is what Dave kind of explained in Rebels Recon.
He knows them.
He knows them and he recognizes their voices, but he doesn't understand the context of what he's hearing. Mm-hmm. And that was Dave's way of showing that the World Between Worlds, like time, like it's very Dr. Manhattan. It's all happening at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as far as the Force is concerned, it is all happening right now, every single moment of it. Just because it's a long time ago and it got, far, far away. It's right here, right now, all the fucking time. And that was Dave's way of like, you hear the prequels, you hear the OT, you hear the sequels. And even though Ezra recognizes some of these voices, it's showing that it's happening all at once as far as the Force is concerned.
Right.
To kind of expand on that. Sorry, I didn't mean to like.
No, beautiful.
You're good.
It's gorgeous.
On what you were saying.
Yeah, no, that was the thing I was gonna say. Like we don't really know that Ahsoka is dead.
No, we don't.
Like if that can happen in that moment, like I feel like that could have been like by that point, Ahsoka is so much older. And do we know how long? It's Togrutas, right? Do we know how? Like,
Togruta, I don't know how long a Togruta lasts. I mean, we didn't know how fucking long Miri Allins were supposed to last, and fucking now we got Vanessa Rowe and the Acolyte. So your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, like you have like Shakti during the Clone Wars, and like her. I mean, obviously, probably you're like probably grow at different rates depending on who you are and everything. But like Shakti's like who were pretty long, and then also during the Mortis arc when like future Ahsoka appears, like I guess it's the brother. But like her like who were long as fuck too. So it's like, dude, is that like any significance? Like, do they keep growing as I guess you get older? Like, I don't know. But anyway,
I mean,
I don't know.
That'd be a good story reason for why the production wasn't able to make that work in a live action show. To just say like, well, she just gets older, right? That's
Right.
a good way to say that.
And that dovetails well with the theory Scotty was positing that she just kind of hangs out in the new galaxy.
Honestly, I kind of am starting to hope, especially what you were saying, Jared, that they go full they go full Gandalf, well, look, that's what we've been calling like this other galaxy, like, you know, like Alden's been kind of saying like he thinks that like she goes to the Grey Havens, which is the other galaxy. What if she just finds a place where she just kind of goes on,
and she can
kind of a thing? That would be interesting to me,
because Ezra can come back, but Ahsoka can stay there.
Yeah,
you know, it'd be cool. And you know, his one voice.
Time works different at this place or something, you know. Or
in Tross, we don't hear Ezra's voice, so I mean, no matter how
she goes to a truly undying land, would be insanely mythic.
That'd be so cool.
I fucking love it.
And I don't think it's a wrap of her story. This season's not going to end it. I mean, Dave's getting a movie. Like,
there's no way
she's going to be in Dave's fucking movie. She's going to be in Dave's movie.
You have to.
Oh yeah.
You know. But look, I think this episode has so much more as the years go on. As much as TLJ has provided commentary, even TFA with its Force vision, and Tross with its you know, speaking from the Force. Star Wars works best when the Force is mystical. Even as much as the first movie, even the midichlorians drop in the Phantom Menace. Like, we've got so many aspects of the Force now that we can really dive into, and I really do believe this of what we got maybe is my favorite version of it. Just the idea that, you know, Ahsoka going not into her past necessarily, but reliving experiences from a different contextual point of view and having to experience lessons in a very difficult way through her former master. So I don't know. I love being able to dissect this with y'all, but most importantly, experience this in real time, because 10 years ago, I wouldn't have had friends like y'all to talk about this kind of stuff with. I'm very thankful that we can share these collective discussions together in this capacity. Like, truly.
Absolutely.
I agree with you completely. And to bring it home before we end here, and then I go over to the Bombadcast. Stop talking to me. I'm stretching.
You're stealing him away. Yes.
Holding him up. Stretch. It's like fucking.
I'm sick of being called a grifter. I'm sick of being.
Roger Stone of the Star Wars fandom. Did you cupping Joey Tight Pants' nuts? Question from dear friend of the show, Frank Janish, Frankie Numbers. I'm so glad you guys get to be on for this question.
Oh, here we go.
What Jedi pairing? This is from last week. We didn't get to it. What Jedi pairing would bring the most Riggs and Murtaugh energy? So, for those of you at home, this is Lethal Weapon, Crazy Mel Gibson, along with I'm Too Old for This Shit, Danny Glover. Now, the obvious one is the one that we've already had, which is Obi-Wan and Anakin. I think that is pretty poignantly I'm too old for this shit.
I know mine.
Okay, hit me.
Ahsoka and Huyang.
That's a good one. I dig it.
Because that's I'm too old for this shit. You know, like that's Huyang literally is 25,000 years old. Like literally. I don't know. That's where my
that's Kanan and Ezra at first.
Yeah, that's good too.
Because Ezra, like, as soon as he starts getting into the whole Jedi thing, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be so fucking cool. I'm gonna run off and do all this shit because I realize I have this power." And Kanan's like, "Brother, you need to slow down."
Hell yeah.
So I think even though this is like super across eras, and Scotty, this one won't mean anything to you,
huh?
Stellan Gios and Qui-Gon Jinn.
What the fuck?
I think that there's a lot like Stellan is so like the poster boy Jedi that like when Qui-Gon's like, hey, I'm gonna make a bet with this junk dealer. I'm gonna bet the Queen's ship to win this little slave boy. That Stellan, face of the Jedi Order Geos, is gonna be like, what the fuck did you just say?
I like that. I like that.
I think because when you really break down the cut, like Qui-Gon Jinn, I think's I'm fucking Qui-Gon Jinn. But he has that kind of like as close to a Jedi as you can have that I'm fucking crazy. Watch me put my arm back in place by myself kind of fucking vibe. You know, he and Anakin are probably the fucking crackhead energy Jedi. You
Good
know,
Lord.
Qui-Gon's just chill about it. He just says and does quiet shit, but he says and does crazy shit, but he does it quietly. You know,
right.
It's like that fucking stunt in the Phantom Menace, batshit insane thing for a person to do. He is the adult in the room, and he was so yeah, I'm gonna bet this ship to win this slave boy. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. You know, Anakin Skywalker, he's like, okay, I'm gonna kamikaze this Star Destroyer.
Dude, he even fucking loads the dice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I mean Yoda, I think on the right day with the right context could be fuck it. With Qui-Gon.
Fuck around, you were chosen.
Yeah, I think Yoda would enjoy watching Qui-Gon do some fuck shit. It just depends on the context, Yoda's been around Qui-Gon's fuck shit enough to admonish Obi-Wan for being like Qui-Gon before his body is cold. Which to me is a mark of friendship.
Right.
But yeah, I think Stellan, just for that just Superman level Boy Scout Jedi shit, to juxtapose with Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Scotty, books are things that you open up and read. Actually, I don't know if you know, you can crack them open. They have words inside instead of just pictures, so it's pretty great. Anyway,
do you get them on an iPad?
Well, you can, but anyway, I've got mine. If I may, and
please.
It's
better not
very
suck.
basic. It's very basic. It's gonna suck. Quinlan and Mace Windu.
That's pretty good. No nonsense black guy.
Yeah, it's and then the Mel Gibson space Native American guy. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's exactly the Quinlan Voss and Mace Windu, I think
that's really good. That's
because
really
Mace Windu
good.
would be if you let Samuel Jackson just be Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu, would be so fucking funny. I'm getting too old for this motherfucking shit. It's so fucking good and stuff. And just Quinlan being like, hey, we're gonna let's jump onto this dewback.
Hey, I found a death stick. I'm gonna use psychometry on it to see if I can find who smoked it.
I'm gonna get fucking high. And then Quinlan sucking siphoning the gas out of a speeder and stuff and going Exxon, kind of a thing. Be great.
Sherry.
Fucking great. Cray, do you have one before we bring this episode home?
I don't know. I still think, I don't know. I said Kanan and Ezra were kind of like that at first.
Okay.
But I feel like I don't know enough of the expanded stuff to pick things out that aren't already in the shows and shit. And in the
That's
movies.
valid.
Well, you already know more than Scotty then, so.
Hey, fair enough. I'll take it.
Who?
All right. Question for Jared mainly.
That's your name.
Oh,
That's
sorry
your
for asking.
name.
Sorry for asking during the show.
Yeah,
Can we have a segment at the end where I just run down through my notes?
Sure, go for it.
All right, sick. I like doing rewatches. Like today, I literally rewatched this at 5:30 p.m. And I just take some notes as I go through. First thing I said was an oversimplification of Hu Yang telling Carson Teva that Jason Syndulla is indeed force sensitive.
Oh,
basically, like Carson's like, what happened? What the fuck was that? Country version. Hu Yang goes, he takes after his daddy, state champs '93, and Carson just goes, shoot, all right.
Yeah,
That was so
one of
funny,
my favorite moments.
I just love that he was just like, okay, yeah, we better get on.
He
it
goes,
then. Yeah,
oh
let's leave."
shit, we listened to the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's funny because my interpretation
Oh,
of
fuck
that, and
Jedi
again,
kid.
this
Cool,
is
okay.
me watching Ahsoka with somebody who's seen a third of the Clone Wars and none of Rebels yet. When Hu Yang's like, of course he's force sensitive. He's the son of Jedi Kanan Jarrus, and then Carson just goes, okay. I was like, I paused it. I looked at Taylor. I was like, this has been you this entire fucking show.
That's what I said to Katie.
Where it's like
literally what I said to Katie.
this like
Word for word.
batshit insane force nonsense happens.
But I love
Here's
here's
as close as I can come to a Cliff Notes version of this. Okay.
But then right after, I love that he's like, we better get to it.
Yeah, he's totally on board.
He's committed. He's so on board, but it is very much the like, I don't give a fuck about this nerd shit. Okay, let's go.
Yes.
We've got to do it because it's a Jedi.
Fucking wizards are involved, of course.
Next note. What happened to Clone Wars Anakin's left arm? Did you guys notice that he seemed like very lumbery when he was in the blue and red robes? Like when he's running into battle with the clones, Anakin looks like he's going like this. And his left arm is like dead the whole time. And I was like, maybe Hayden has something going on. And then I was like, well, no, because he just did the fucking flurry thing. There's no way he has something going on. Like, and also I feel like they would have just used a double if that was the case.
Weird. Okay.
I can't believe I didn't bring this up yet this whole show. Anakin saying, of course it does. When Ahsoka says, doesn't this bother you? Prequel meme. That's it.
Oh my god.
Prequel meme. 100%.
See, that felt very Clone Wars.
And he's like, well, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course it does. God, that was good.
Also, Hu Yang grimacing when asked about Anakin. Like when Hera says, what was her master like? And Hu Yang just kind of like, you see his eyes kind of like,
it was intense.
Yeah. And he says he was intense, and she's like, okay.
I'm slowly
like,
starting to think that like everybody's
Anakin to
agreed, like
barbecue.
don't tell the normies he was Darth Vader. That like there's been this like quiet agreement that like if we tell the normal people that Anakin was Darth Vader, we're gonna scare the hoes. Like there's been a silent agreement.
We will not be woke if we tell them that it was that. And I know I invented woke. So.
You are woke.
I am.
Next one I had was just CGI on some of the clones that were running. Was kind of upon the rewatch. I didn't think that the first time. First time it didn't even process. But on the rewatch,
I think those were practical. Those were practical clones, though.
Oh, those were practical.
I think it was just
real?
like, yeah. I think it's just like the dream.
Those guys just have
weird.
Those guys just have bum legs.
It looks like they were lagging.
You can see their. Well, look, I can tell you this much. In the Siege of Mandalore, a couple of those clones did look CG, but all the ones in the Teth flashback and the Ryloth flashback, 100% real. You can see their the way their armor bends like stormtroopers. Like it really looks very good. But like
100%.
The Mandalore, maybe not so much. I thought maybe it's me. That damn Mandalorian, that Darth Maul Mandalorian looking dude, horrible CGI. Looks like a damn. It looks like a trading card from 1997. It looks like this. Hold on, I'll show you. That shit like a fucking nightmare. Hold on. It'll literally look just like these.
Let him unzip it. Hold on.
But I'll let him cook.
I mean, no, not even fucking around. The first card, it looked like this. Like that Maul Mandalorian looked awful. It looked just like that. It looked horrible.
It looked like Spawn from 1995. I'm just kidding.
It looked fucking bad. Anyway.
All right, I got three more. Last three. All right.
Last three.
The James Earl Jones, Hayden Christensen combo, You Lack Conviction was filthy. So gross, dude. I shuddered when he said that.
Oh my god, I yelled.
Like he was like doing that like hard, dude. The hard strut towards him. He goes, "You lack conviction." And I was like, "Woo, woo!"
Oh, dude, yeah. No, I shit my pants.
Right.
It was great.
See, I had a moment with that because like I'm such a fucking like just quivering Darth Vader fanboy that I had a moment where it's like, oh yeah, he's scary as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
We're like every time Vader shows up in a new canon thing, I'm just so giddy to see my favorite fucking
Jason
character.
fucking Voorhees.
And then he will
Yes.
do something that I'm like, oh, you're so fucking scary. Like
it's
like
so
since
bad.
Rogue One, he like you get the Krennic scene. I'm like, God damn it, I love Darth Vader. Hallway scene, oh Jesus fucking Christ. Obi-Wan Kenobi, oh Darth Vader. Oh, you're just murdering fucking civilians and you lit Obi-Wan on fire. You know, fucking Jedi
that
Survivor.
was fucking terrifying.
You know, like same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, woo! Oh my god. So yeah. Anyway.
All right. The look on Ahsoka's face when she puts the blade to Anakin's neck, when she's like really
Oh, yeah.
contemplating it, and she has the blade up, and you can see her like her face is like puckering because she's like, I could do it. I could.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thought it was very
She
good
wants
acting
to.
on Rosario Dawson's part. And last but not least, as Anakin steps back away from Ahsoka when she decides to spare him, when he takes the first step back, that motherfucker thuds. Then as he takes his other steps back, it gets softer. As he comes back from Vader into Anakin.
Yeah.
I thought that
Didn't
was very
Alden
cool.
point that out earlier? I thought I saw
Someone
somebody say
was-
that in our group chat.
Oh,
No, I
I don't
think
know.
Jason
I
pointed
just
that.
noticed that when I rewatched it.
No, sure.
No,
But
I
like,
know,
yes,
I was saying-
someone did say you have some Vader boot sounds.
That's what I was going to say. I know
Yeah.
somebody pointed that out. I heard somebody mention that. I had no idea where, Case, and that was a
boom,
great
boom, boom
catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. As soon as like as that's ending, basically, as he steps away from her after she decides to spare him, it's like boom.
Oh wow.
Very
Fucking
good.
wild, man.
Very, very good. The whole thing. I just love it, dude.
Perfect
I'm so
episode.
happy.
Great
Star
notes.
Wars,
Perfect
Star Wars
notes.
fucking
Just-
rules.
Dude, the Star Wars be Star Wars and I fucking love it.
Listen,
I agree.
let Dave cook. And listen, you don't have to like Dave's cooking.
But let him
But
fucking do
stay
it.
out of the fucking kitchen. Okay,
That's right.
We're gonna keep taking this metaphor into the ground. So
These people keep getting pissed off, and it's like, hey, motherfucker, the cake is still in the oven. Quit running through the house, or else it's gonna cave in.
you're
That's
getting
right.
Andor season 2. Let me eat for a minute, okay?
Yes.
For God's sakes.
Well, that is
And I'll watch
perfect.
the anti-fascist shit with you too. Like I love the anti-fascist shit. I'm an anti-fascist myself. But let me have my magical force shit.
Exactly.
I want my breakfast cereal. I want my goddamn breakfast cereal. Okay.
Jerry.
Fuck.
I'm now going to throw to future Jared to bring the show home. Go watch the Bombadcast. As
It's
plugs.
the Bombad! Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind. Talking about Justin
at
Bieber.
Jason Breon on Twitter and Instagram, respectively. Find the band that he manages, Belvebeth. If you're into some hard music in that regard. And yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552. And you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, wherever you get podcasts, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you want to rock some TNAT merch, and go ahead and click that student store link.
T-public.com.
And if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Keandre Lloyd.
Colin Provolone. Sir.
So good.
Feel yourself, Colin. Feel yourself.
This is me stealing myself.
To Elix Jones.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
And to our dear friend Ray Clausen, who asks that you donate to Equality Texas and help keep queer kids safe in the Lone Star State. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think this is my favorite episode of Ahsoka so far, and this is the most fun I've had talking about Ahsoka so far. Absolutely love my brothers at the Bombadcast. And if you're watching me and you're not checking out the Bombadcast, get on over there and watch that show too. Like I said, this week's Bombad stream was incredibly silly, in a word. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. Can't recommend our dear friends over at the Bombadcast enough. So yeah, go and check them out. Patreon, $5 tier gets you access to Heroic History 101 and the Knights of the Nerd Republic versus series on its way back. Porter Angle versus Count Dooku. Or Porter Angle versus Dooku. I keep saying Count Dooku. It's Jedi Master Dooku. Is coming out hopefully soon. Going to try to record that with Spencer. I'm going to be at his sister's wedding this weekend. So with that, things are going to finally start to calm down, level out, and we're going to get you guys that nice versus content that you love so much. So stay tuned for that. $5 tier, $5 a month helps us keep the lights on here. We very much appreciate some more patrons, because that's the fun stuff that helps pay for the stuff we do here. But anyway, thank you all so very much for watching and listening. We are honored that you have joined us, and may the force be with you always.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!
Sensational. That's his word.